He was Bo Singji, the wealthy, powerful and devastatingly handsome Sue. And the wife he always thought was a useless face turned out to be the hidden boss of a mysterious conglomerate. The night was deep and enchanting, as if wrapped in an endless veil of darkness. The man pressed the woman down onto the soft bed, his body firmly against hers. His thin lips were about to descend when the woman giggled and raised her hand to block him. Her bright eyes locked onto his as she teased, "Honey, we're about to get divorced." Bo Singji's brows tightened. He pulled her waist closer and declared, "As long as the divorce papers aren't signed, you are still my wife. Enjoy the moment. Cherish every time." The next morning, Won-soo slipped into a black dress. Just as she reached back to zip it up, Bo Singji stepped forward and pulled the zipper for her. He glanced at her coolly. "Since we're getting divorced, the act is over. If you don't want to go, then don't." Won-soo placed her hand over his and replied calmly, "Grandfather treated me well. I want to see him one last time to send him off." Bo Singji's voice was faint. "Fine. I'll have Song Yen take you." Won-soo curved her lips into a poised smile. "All right." After he turned and left, her expression instantly darkened. She had always known their marriage was nothing like others. From the start, they agreed not to interfere with each other. She would play the role of his socialite wife, he would buy her luxury bags and clothes, and all she had to do was put on a show of affection in front of his grandfather. At Nanshan Cemetery, a light drizzle began to fall. Those who came were Bo Singji's relatives, friends, and several business associates. Bo Singji, dressed in a black suit, stood tall before his grandfather's grave. His striking features were clouded with grief. Won-soo stepped out of the car, holding a black umbrella as she walked toward the crowd. She bent down in front of the tombstone and gently laid a bouquet of lilies. Everyone stared in shock. Who was this beautiful woman? Among the Bo family's grandchildren, only Bo Singji would kneel. Wasn't there a rumor that he had a hidden wife? A flicker of surprise flashed through Bo Singji's eyes. This woman? After paying her respects, Won-soo turned to leave. Suddenly, a sharp voice rang out behind her. "Miss Won, please stay." It was Bo Wenhao, the second young master of the Bo family. He sneered, "Without grandfather to protect you, let's see how long you can stay proud." Won-soo's tone was calm as she replied, "So second young master came all this way just to say that?" Bo Wenhao growled, "I'm warning you. Don't even dream of touching a single cent of the Bo family fortune." Won-soo answered indifferently, "Are you finished? Then farewell." Bo Wenhao muttered coldly as he walked away, "One day I'll expose your true face." Won-soo's mind drifted back to the past. Back then no one was willing to marry her. It was Bo Singji who had taken in her pitiful self. But now between them, there was nothing left to owe. Won-soo returned to a villa. The moment Jiang Xinyu saw her, he rushed over. "Boss, why are you back?" Won-soo curved her lips into a faint smile. "I'm divorced." "No way, boss. Your husband is Bo Singji, the heartthrob pilot of Nanxing Airlines, the CEO of the Bo Group, the man every woman dreams about. Handsome beyond reason. Can you really let him go?" Won-soo's tone turned icy. "Cut the nonsense. Give me the sales report for the new season." While erasing surveillance footage, Won-soo's phone suddenly rang. The caller ID lit up. It was Bo Singji. His cool voice carried a hint of displeasure. "Where are you? Why aren't you home this late?" Won-soo replied flatly, "President Bo, did you forget? We're already divorced." She arrived at Bo Singji's villa. Just as she reached for the door, her face darkened. His words from that call echoed in her ears. "As long as I haven't signed, the divorce doesn't count. Be good and come home." Holding back her fury, Won-soo forced a cold smile. "Fine, husband. Wait for me half an hour." As soon as Won-soo walked in, she saw Bo Singji sitting on the sofa with a laptop on his knees. He looked up and asked calmly, "Where have you been?" Won-soo lied, "Well, since I'll have to move out sooner or later, I spent the day looking for a place." Bo Singji snapped the laptop shut. "You really don't want to consider keeping this villa?" Won-soo blinked, her expression softening as she feigned sweetness. "No." Bo Singji pulled her straight onto his lap, holding her firmly. "Don't you think it's a loss to walk away with nothing?" Her clear eyes met his as she replied, "These past 4 years, you never argued with me, never treated me poorly. Everything I ate, wore, and used was the best. So what exactly did I lose? Bo Xingji leaned in close. Do you truly feel nothing for me? As long as you stay by my side, anything you want will be within your reach. With those words, he kissed her. To Ruan Su, this marriage had been nothing more than a lifeline. After 4 years, it was time to end it. Bo Xingji pressed her down and murmured, "Since we're heading for divorce, we might as well treasure every last time." The next morning, Ruan Su was cooking noodles when Bo Xingji slipped his arms around her from behind and murmured, "Why not just stay here?" Ruan Su gave an awkward laugh. "The noodles are about to burn, move." Inwardly, she scoffed. Was this man a restless puppy? Couldn't sit still for a moment. Suddenly, a voice came from outside. "Young master, Miss Wang is here to see you." Wang Xinya stood at the doorway holding out an invitation. "President Bo, next Saturday is my birthday. It's my first time hosting one and I'm nervous. May I invite you to be my witness?" She extended both hands with the card, her wide eyes fixed on him. Bo Xingji turned his head. His gaze landed on Ruan Su, calmly eating her noodles, and for some reason he agreed. The butler took the invitation, though his heart sank. How could the young master get involved with a woman like this? Wang Xinya's eyes drifted to the entryway, where a pair of women's designer shoes sat neatly. The rumors were true. President Bo really did have a hidden wife. Ruan Su placed her bowl in the kitchen and tossed a line over her shoulder. "Husband, don't forget to wash the dishes later." Wang Xinya froze at the sound of that melodic voice, craning her neck to see. Bo Xingji's reply made it worse. "All right, wife." Then he looked back at Wang Xinya with calm indifference. "Sorry, I need to wash the dishes. Do you have anything else?" President Bo, the aloof, untouchable Si, was actually doing something so down-to-earth at home? Just what kind of hold did that woman have on him? Wang Xinya's eyes were filled with disbelief. Nothing at all," she stammered. Bo Xingji went upstairs and glanced at Ruan Su. "Were you jealous of Wang Xinya?" he asked. Ruan Su couldn't help but laugh. "If Miss Wang truly likes you, I think that's great. Once we're divorced, you can marry her as your new wife." His hand froze behind her back. This woman was always so obedient, so considerate, so proper. Once that was what he admired most about her. But now, it only stirred his resentment. He lowered his voice at her ear. "Fly with me tonight. You've never ridden in my plane before." Looking at his stern face, Ruan Su instantly gave a gentle smile. "Of course, husband. If it's with you, I'd go through fire and water." Yet inwardly, Ruan Su scoffed. Does something like this really require me to be there? On the plane, Ruan Su couldn't help but think, why does this man insist on dragging me along? The cockpit was right ahead and her seat was close to his. After finishing his duties, Bo Xingji stepped out, instantly drawing every passenger's gaze. Tall and striking, he looked like a living runway model, an undeniable sight at the airport. Even the flight attendants whispered among themselves. "No wonder he's our Captain Bo, he's way too handsome. If I could marry a man like that, I'd die happy." Bo Xingji turned to the nearby attendant, holding out his hand. "Give it to me." When the attendant noticed him heading toward a woman, she hurriedly began, "Captain, this lady." Before she could finish, Bo Xingji silenced her with a hand gesture. "Don't speak." The attendant blinked in confusion. Ruan Su stirred awake. Bo Xingji touched her forehead and frowned. "Why is it burning hot?" She ignored the question and asked instead, "You came out here. Then who's flying the plane?" He handed her a bottle of water. "The co-pilot switched with me. Try sending me away again." Ruan Su hadn't expected him to be this brazen. He leaned down until his face was close to hers. "Be good. Drink it. Or I won't mind feeding you myself." The nearby stewardess looked on with envy. The captain, who was always cold and distant, was being tender, just for this woman. Who exactly is she? Ruan Su reluctantly drank. "Fine, I'll drink, but it's bitter." She thought to herself, I must be feverish from exhaustion. And this man only makes more trouble for me. Bo Xingji pinched her chin gently. "Take care of yourself. Don't make me worry." Ruan Su gave him a gentle smile. "Don't worry, husband." But inside she reminded herself coldly, the divorce must be accelerated. There are too many variables now. After leaving the airport, they entered a private room. Ruan Su massaged Bo Xingji's shoulders and teased, "Husband, didn't we agree not to show affection in public?" Bo Xingji's tone darkened. What, you don't like it? Wan Su quickly replied, it's not that I don't like it, but we're about to get divorced. Bo Xingji suddenly yanked at her clothes, his voice sharp. Since you're so eager for divorce, I'll grant your wish. Wan Su met his eyes calmly. Captain Bo, let's part on good terms. Bo Xingji spoke coldly. The entire Weiqing Lake complex, 10 buildings, 300 units, will be yours. A divorce gift worth 2.8 billion. Wan Su froze, then shook her head. I can't accept that. Bo Xingji chuckled lowly. There's nothing you can't accept, Wan Su. How about we do something far more interesting instead? With that, he bent down and kissed her. The next morning, they went to the Civil Affairs Bureau and finalized their divorce. Finally, it's over. 4 years of marriage came to an end. Bo Xingji's cool voice cut through the silence. Where are you going? I'll take you. Wan Su smiled faintly. No need. She raised her hand toward a car pulling up in front, and it came to a smooth stop. The door opened, revealing a face Bo Xingji knew all too well. Jiang Xinyu, the CEO of Baisho Pharmaceuticals. President Jiang. Bo Xingji's expression turned icy, unable to comprehend why Wan Su would know this man. So that was it. No wonder she was so eager to divorce. She already had someone waiting. Jiang Xinyu flashed a confident smile, lifting Wan Su's luggage into the trunk. President Bo, thank you for taking care of Wan Su these past few years. Bo Xingji's gaze chilled as he watched her slide into the passenger seat. For 4 years she had always been gentle and demure. Yet never once had she smiled as brightly as she did now. She would no longer call him husband in that soft, warm voice. But perhaps that silence was better. Wan Su didn't go home immediately. Instead, she went to Nanshan Cemetery. Kneeling before Grandfather Bo's grave, she whispered, Grandfather, I'm sorry. Bo Xingji and I are divorced. I hope you won't blame me, and when I have time I'll come visit you again. As soon as she turned around, she saw a man standing not far away, staring at her intently. To meet so soon after parting, what bitter irony. But since the marriage was over, Wan Su no longer owed him a smile. Just as she brushed past, Bo Xingji grabbed her arm. Why are you here? He demanded. Wan Su's expression remained blank. I came to see Grandfather. He pressed her, voice sharp. What's your relationship with Jiang Xinyu? Did you divorce me for him? Wan Su's red lips parted, her words icy. President Bo, let go of me. Her words made him loosen his grip. Wan Su strode away in her high heels, each step landing like a heavy blow on his chest, making it ache unbearably. And in that moment he finally realized she was no longer his wife. She was his ex-wife. They had become the most familiar strangers. Suddenly, Bo Xingji's phone rang. It was Song Yan. Young Master, Wang Xinya's wire snapped while filming. She's broken her leg and has been sent to First City Hospital. Bo Xingji's tone dropped cold. Wait for me there. I'm on my way. He hung up immediately. When he arrived at the hospital and stepped out of the emergency stairwell, he saw a group of people at the end of the corridor. Leading them was a woman in a white coat, followed by doctors and nurses, all showing her the utmost respect. When his eyes landed on her face, Bo Xingji froze in shock. Wan Su. She stopped 3 steps away and the entire group halted behind her. The corridor fell silent. Wan Su's expression was blank as she asked, President Bo, why are you here? Were you waiting for me? Bo Xingji's gaze locked tightly on her beautiful face. He couldn't deny it. This woman was stunning. No matter what she wore, she carried it flawlessly. Even the white coat radiated a kind of restrained allure. Against his will, his mind conjured images of her irresistible charm. A young nurse rushed out. Dr. Wan, everything is ready. The operation can begin. President Bo, I'm busy. With that, Wan Su turned and headed for the operating room. As she walked, her voice rang with crisp authority. Everyone stay sharp. No distractions. The doctors and nurses straightened immediately and answered in unison, Yes, doctor. Song Yan rubbed his eyes. Young master, did I see that right? Was that Miss Wan just now? Bo Xingji ground the words out between his teeth. It was her. Song Yan gaped. But wasn't she supposed to be a failure? No job? Didn't even graduate college? And what about Wang Xingya? Bo Xingji cut him off coldly. Handle it. Keep the heat down. As long as my name isn't dragged into hype, release a statement with the facts. Right now he had no mind to care about Wang Xinya. He suddenly grabbed a passing nurse, refusing to give up. That doctor just now, her surname was Ruan, wasn't it? The nurse's eyes lit up. You mean Dr. Ruan? She's incredible. My idol. Bo Xingji felt as if he were trapped in a dream, muttering, incredible. The nurse added proudly, she's the top surgeon at First City Hospital. Don't you know? Countless big names fight to get her, but she only performs one surgery a month. Her time is worth a fortune. Bo Xingji was completely stunned. That young medical prodigy was actually Ruan Su. Song Yen too was left speechless, especially with that icy, distant aura she now carried. So different from the gentle, obedient little wife at home. Could it be that this was her true self? And the woman he thought he knew had only been an act all along? Inside the operating room, Ruan Su's calm, professional voice rang out again and again. Forceps. Hemostat. As soon as she stepped out, she found Bo Xingji waiting at the door, his expression laced with anger. Ruan Su walked right past him, her face cold, clearly unwilling to engage. Bo Xingji suddenly pinned her against the wall, growling, all these years, you've been lying to me. Ruan Su's gaze was icy as she replied, President Bo, there are boundaries between men and women. He gripped her chin and demanded, answer me. Ruan Su didn't even flinch. You saw it with your own eyes. Just then a young nurse approached. Dr. Ruan, the director asked you to give a lecture to the interns. Catching the scene, the nurse's face flushed crimson. Ruan Su pushed Bo Xingji away. Excuse me, President Bo. Bo Xingji's face darkened. He no longer treated him with the tenderness she once did. He immediately turned to the nurse. Is Dr. Ruan highly respected in your department? The nurse beamed. Absolutely. She was the top scorer in the National College entrance exam at 15, entered the country's best medical school, and soon became the top surgeon in our hospital. She's practically a legend. Bo Xingji was stunned. Top scorer at 15. Ruan Su, just how much more is there about you that I never knew? Bo Xingji suddenly asked his subordinates. A few years ago, did any of you hear about a 15-year-old prodigy who topped the college entrance exam? One of them hesitated. There were rumors back then. Something about a science champion who skipped grades. But the news was quickly buried. President Bo, why do you ask? Bo Xingji fell into deep thought. Before marriage, he had actually believed Ruan Su had never even gone to college. How had she managed to suppress all that information? Just then, the door swung open. In walked Jiang Xinfeng, the rising music star of Bo Entertainment. Seeing everyone there, he scratched his head awkwardly. I just haven't released a new song yet. Do you really need such a big scene to rush me? Manager Lu sighed helplessly. What can I do? My idol's been busy with her divorce and won't write me anything new. Jiang Xinfeng arched a brow. Manager Lu, what are you doing standing there like you're being punished? Lu Jingwen could only groan inwardly. This little ancestor, always running his mouth. Yet even in front of the big boss, he still didn't know when to shut up. Bo Xingji's face remained expressionless. What business do you have with Manager Lu? Jiang Xinfeng forced a smile and greeted nervously, Hello, President Bo. Steadying himself, he continued. My idol, Shuahai, has been busy with a divorce lately and hasn't been able to write me any new songs. But she gave me a script. I want to switch careers and act as the male lead. Manager Lu tugged at Jiang Xinfeng's sleeve. Things like that you tell me privately. President Bo doesn't have time to worry about whether you act or not. Hurry out, can't you see what's going on here? Jiang Xinfeng frowned but insisted. Manager Lu, you always oppose my transition. This time I'll say it in front of President Bo. Hearing that even Shuahai was divorcing, Bo Xingji's irritation eased unexpectedly. So, he wasn't the only one. He scoffed at himself inwardly. Why am I even thinking like this? Where's my composure? My wisdom? Bo Xingji rose to his feet. It's good for young people to have ambition. Send me the script. If it's truly good, Jiang Xinfeng can take the lead role. With that, he walked straight out the door. The executive president let out a sigh of relief. President Bo, it's nearly noon. I've reserved a table at the Grand Hyatt. But in Bo Xingji's mind, a different thought lingered. That restaurant was Ruan Su's favorite. In the hospital ward, Wang Xinya lay on the bed with a bitter expression, complaining to her manager. What's going on? I'm this badly hurt and President Bo still hasn't come to see me. Did you even tell him? The manager tried to comfort her. Don't worry, he'll probably show up later. This is all your fault. You said I wouldn't get hurt and now I've twisted my ankle. The manager groaned. My dear lady, the fact you didn't need surgery is already a blessing. We just told President Bo you had one and even called in the media. As soon as he shows up, it'll make headlines. At that moment, a knock came at the door. Their faces lit up with hope. Wang Xinya quickly softened her voice, feigning weakness. Come in. But when the door opened and Song Yan walked in, her face fell. Why is it you? Where's President Bo? Song Yan instantly saw through her intentions. The young master is busy. He sent me to visit you. Wang Xinya's eyes welled with tears. It looks like I won't be able to walk for a while. But inside she was seething. Why wouldn't Bo Xingji come himself? How could he just send an assistant? Focus on recovering. The company will coordinate with the film crew, Song Yan said, then turned to leave without further delay. As soon as he stepped out, the sound of something being thrown echoed from behind the door. Song Yan could only shake his head helplessly. At the revolving restaurant atop the Grand Hyatt, Jiang Xinyu rushed in, sweat beading across his forehead. It's scorching out there. I just came from the office and I'm already drenched, he muttered. Wan Su glanced at him. Who told you to wear so much? Jiang Xinyu groaned inwardly. I'm a CEO, the CEO of Baisho Pharmaceuticals. If I show up to work in casual clothes, what would that look like? Wan Su didn't press further. To reward you, I ordered all the dishes you like. Jiang Xinyu took a sip of red wine and asked, Boss, now that you're divorced, what's your plan? Without hesitation, Wan Su replied, I found a job. His wine nearly sprayed across the table. Luckily, Wan Su dodged in time. She shot him a look of disdain. You're CEO. At least try to keep your image intact. Jiang Xinyu hurriedly wiped his mouth. Wan Su's appetite was completely ruined. Forget it. Tell me later. Show me the collaboration proposal. To make discussion easier, Jiang Xinyu slid into the seat beside her. The two bent their heads together over the documents. Just then, Bo Xingji entered the restaurant with his entourage. The first thing he saw was Wan Su and Jiang Xinyu leaning close together, their heads nearly touching. The sight stabbed at his eyes like a knife. His face darkened instantly, fury boiling in his chest. Wan Su was hypersensitive to gazes. Instantly, she felt the weight of an oppressive stare on her. She lifted her eyes and locked directly with Bo Xingji's sharp, piercing gaze. Raising a brow, she thought, what a small world. Even after the divorce, I can't have a meal in peace without running into him. Jiang Xinyu had been mid-sentence, but when she fell silent, he followed her line of sight. Spotting Bo Xingji's cold face, he couldn't help but chuckle. Jiang Xinyu stood and walked toward him. Well, if it isn't President Bo. Bo Xingji's lips curved faintly. Dining with your girlfriend, President Jiang? Why not join us? Jiang Xinyu smiled back. Gladly. But I should first ask my girlfriend's opinion. With that, he leaned down to whisper to Wan Su. After hearing her response, Jiang Xinyu turned. Since President Bo has extended the invitation, it would be rude of us to decline. Bo Xingji's gaze shifted to where Wan Su sat, his voice cold. The air conditioning over there is too strong. Sit beside me. The surrounding diners were stunned. President Bo inviting another man's date? Wasn't he supposed to be long married? Whispers spread quickly. Wan Su propped her chin on her hand, tilting her head with a faint smile. Thank you for the kind offer, President Bo. Once Wan Su sat down, Bo Xingji's eyes never left her. This woman, effortlessly beautiful even without the slightest adornment. Wan Su signaled the waiter. I'll have a banana split and one Havana sunset. Suddenly, Bo Xingji leaned close, his breath brushing her ear. You're on your period. You can't eat that. Wan Su's face darkened. Seriously? Even divorced, this man remembers my cycle? What is he trying to do? Be a pervert? Jiang Xinyu caught the moment, his hand tightening into a fist before he lowered his gaze to mask the flicker in his eyes. Bo Xingji finally pulled back, his expression reverting to cold detachment. Habit, he muttered. The dishes had barely been served when Bo Xingji ordered the waiter to take them away. The waiter apologized. I'm sorry, sir. I can't. Miss Ruan ordered these. Manager Lu hurried to smooth things over. This table is on our bill. But the waiter still insisted, even if you pay, sir, I only follow Miss Ruan's instructions. With that, he bent to clear the plates. Murmurs rippled through the room. Only obey Miss Ruan? Who was she that even President Bo's face carried no weight? Wan Su rose calmly. Forget it. I won't eat. Jiang Xinyu, let's go. He quickly stepped to her side. I'll carry your bag. Like a queen granting favor, Wan Su handed her purse over, then strode away on her high heels. And to everyone's shock, the entire staff of the restaurant bowed slightly and chorused, Goodbye, Miss Ruan. Just days after the divorce, Wan Su was already openly flirting with Jiang Xinyu. And not just that, the two seemed almost inseparable. Unbelievably, she had the rising star CEO of Baisho Pharmaceuticals at her beck and call. The subordinates whispered among themselves. When the big boss showed up earlier, he hadn't received half such treatment. The only woman who could darken President Bo's face like this was her. Wan Su stepped out of the restaurant and into Jiang Xinyu's car. His hands tightened on the steering wheel as he asked, Where to? She blinked slowly. Take me home. Not going to work? Didn't you say you found a new job? Wan Su arched a brow, glanced at her phone and replied coolly, Back to work. Sitting cross-legged on the carpet with her laptop, Wan Su asked over the phone, What case? A man's voice came through. The client is offering 500,000. Do you take it? Why wouldn't I? Wan Su replied coolly. Who's the client? Send me his file and demands. The man hesitated. The client's identity is hidden. Wan Su narrowed her eyes. Hidden, huh? Seems they don't want us tracing back. Fine. Give me the details of the case. It's tricky, the man explained. We need your cyber tracking skills. If you take it, you'll be helping thousands of people. Wan Su sneered. I'm not that noble. Tell them I'll deliver in 3 days. They want me to track down a man, embezzler, hit-and-run fugitive? Interesting. The man added, the fugitive's real estate project collapsed. Employees left without pay, the company fell apart. Wan Su arched a brow. Those construction workers he abandoned were left penniless, displaced, with nothing to show for their labor. In a dark alley, a man reeked of filth. It was his 10th day hiding in Eastern Europe, and he realized no one seemed to be chasing him anymore. They've been on me for half a year. By now they must have given up, he muttered, heading toward a shabby inn to wash up. After his shower, he made a call. What about the house? It has to be a villa, with a pool, a garage, a garden. Money's not a problem. At the same time, Wan Su had worked through the entire night. Only at dawn did she finally collapse into her soft bed. She had barely fallen asleep when her phone rang. A lazy voice came through. I hear you're Bo Wenhao's sister-in-law? Wan Su's brows furrowed. What about him? She asked impatiently. The caller's tone flared with anger. Bo Wenhao beat up my brother. If you want him safe, you'd better come pick him up yourself. When Wan Su stepped inside, her words were blunt. Wasn't Jiang Chenggu looking for me? Where is he? Behind her, 2 men whispered to each other. Haizi muttered, What's wrong with the Jiang family? They actually dared to mess with our boss. Debai snorted. Tell me about it. And the boss looks pissed, she hates being woken up. Bo Wenhao scowled, his voice dripping with resentment. What are you doing here? Come to laugh at me. Wan Su's face was ice cold. Of course I didn't come here to pick you up. Bo Wenhao choked on his words. Then why are you here? He looked up and froze under Wan Su's icy gaze. She had shown up in nothing but loungewear, cartoon slippers on her feet, as if she couldn't care less. Who is this woman? She doesn't take our Jiang family seriously at all. A middle-aged man blurted, I'm telling you, someone has to teach that brat Bo Wenhao a lesson. My mouth. Snap. The sharp crack of a whip split the air as Wan Su lashed it across the ground at his feet. He staggered back instinctively. Her face darkened. So you're the instigator, aren't you? The man howled in pain, dropping to his knees. Where the hell did you crawl out from, crazy woman? How dare you hit me? Wan Su's voice was cold as steel. If it weren't for you brawling with Bo Wenhao, I wouldn't have been woken up. Her eyes shifted to Bo Wenhao. And you always stirring up trouble. Don't think you're innocent. Bo Wenhao froze, panic flashing in his mind. She's not going to whip me too, is she? Crack. The whip struck squarely across his back. Bo Wenhao clenched his teeth against the pain, growling, I'll tell my brother. Make him divorce you. Jiang Qinglu howled in pain. Brother, save me. Jiang Qinglu loomed like a towering wall of muscle, his presence suffocating as he reached for the whip in Wan Su's hand. Wan Su sneered, her body flashing aside with ease. Jiang Qinglu's eyes widened, she had dodged effortlessly. With a single strike, her palm lashed out. Smack. The hulking man, nearly 1.85 meters tall, was sent crashing backward, slamming into the marble coffee table. The heavy stone shattered under the impact. Wan Su's petal-like lips parted as she gently blew on her palm, as if brushing off non-existent dust. A word of advice, don't disturb my sleep again. Consider today a lesson. She turned and strode away. Her long legs carried her to the doorway. With a lazy glance over her shoulder, she eyed the battered Bo Wenhao sprawled on the floor. Still lying there? Do you want to play dead? Bo Wenhao froze, swallowing hard. He scrambled up, hopping clumsily after her like a little zombie. Even my brothers never hit me, yet she did. And after hitting me, she still takes me with her. This woman, I really can't figure her out. A sleek car rolled to a stop outside the Jiang family villa. The door opened and a tall, lean figure stepped out. His sharp gaze swept over Bo Wenhao before finally locking onto the petite woman at the doorway, his eyes as cold as steel. Two men nearby whispered, Wow, that's Bo Xingji? He looks terrifying. Good thing our boss divorced him. Wan Su shot them a frosty glance, instantly silencing them, but the exchange had already caught Bo Xingji's attention. His keen eyes slid over the two men beside her, nearly identical in build and looks. Last time it was Jiang Xinyu. Now two more? Brother, hurry and untie me. Bo Wenhao whined in frustration. Why is he staring at that hateful woman instead of helping me? But Bo Xingji didn't even glance his way. His voice was cold. If you've got the guts to fight, don't whine. Why are you here? Wan Su frowned as Bo Xingji strode toward her, lowering his gaze to look down at her from above. His eyes fell on her cartoon slippers and his chest tightened. She had never worn anything so ordinary before. Wan Su's voice was edged with impatience. Bo Xingji, we're divorced. Tell your brother to delete my number from his contacts, will you? Bo Xingji ignored the request, asking instead, Did Jiang Qingwu lay a hand on you? At that moment, Jiang Qingwu's car rolled out of the villa. The window lowered, revealing his pale face. His eyes locked on Wan Su, venomous. I'll remember you. Wan Su curved her lips into a mocking smile. Mr. Jiang, today's lesson should be one you'll never forget. Bo Xingji's face darkened. Young Master Jiang, you kidnapped my brother. How do you plan to settle this? President Bo, my brother's been beaten half to death by this woman. We're on our way to the hospital. Jiang Qingwu shoved Jiang Qinglu forward as a shield. His pride wouldn't allow him to admit he was the real victim. Bo Xingji's chest tightened. At home, she couldn't even open a bottle cap without me. How could she possibly injure Jiang Qinglu? Jiang, are you joking? If you want to slander her, at least come up with something better. Bo Wenhao rushed forward. Brother, he's not lying. I was beaten too. Wan Su lashed me with a whip. Jiang Qinglu quickly poked his head out to add, President Bo, I can testify. She whipped my brother straight into the coffee table. One crack, and our marble table worth tens of thousands shattered to pieces. Bo Xingji froze, unable to picture it. You took on all three of them? Wan Su smiled faintly. Why? Planning to get justice for them? Bo Xingji closed in, his aura so oppressive it made the air heavy. Wan Su, just how much have you been hiding from me? Wan Su let out a soft laugh, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. President Bo, why do you sound desperate? Two of the men nearby couldn't help it. They burst out laughing. Jiang Qingwu lowered his eyes, forcing a confident grin. President Bo, I'll take my leave first. Bo Xingji didn't even glance his way, his razor-sharp gaze locked solely on Wan Su. Jiang Qingwu snorted and ordered the driver to move. I'm not so easily intimidated, President Bo. Meanwhile, Jiang Qinglu flipped his hair with exaggerated flair, shooting Wan Su what he thought was a charming wink. Goddess, until we meet again. Suddenly, a familiar ringtone broke the tension. Wan Su lowered her eyes to the name on the screen, a chill flashing through them. President Bo, I have something else to attend to. Goodbye. She turned toward the car. Liang Bai had already taken the driver's seat, while Liang He, ever the gentleman, held the door open for her. Bo Xingji's face grew even darker, his handsome features shrouded in frost. Damn it, just what is her relationship with these two men? Li Meixin cast a lofty glance at Wang Xiuzhen, her tone dripping with arrogance. When Wan Su comes back, you know exactly what to say, don't you? I'm asking you a question. Did you hear me? Wang Xiuzhen lowered her head, her voice barely above a whisper. I heard. Just then a servant's voice rang out. Madam, the second young miss has returned. Wang Xiuzhen's eyes lit up instantly as she looked toward the door. Xiaosu, you're back. She hurried forward, looking up at her granddaughter. Wan Su, still in slippers and pajamas, stepped into the living room without bothering to change. Handing over a small box she'd bought on the way, she said, Grandma, this is for you. Wang Xiuzhen's smile deepened, the wrinkles on her face smoothing with joy. Just seeing you makes me happy. Xiaosu, I'm not trying to nag, Li Meixin said in a scolding tone. But going out dressed like this, you should at least tidy yourself up. If your father's business partners saw you, they'd think the Wan family's young lady was a complete mess. Wan Su lifted her eyelids lazily, casting her a cold glance. Auntie, since you know you're being nosy, then keep your mouth shut. Li Meixin was left speechless, her body stiff with discomfort, but she forced herself to swallow her anger. Wan Su then turned to Wang Xiuzhen. Grandma, how have you been? Dad said you've been ill. Afraid she'd worry, Wang Xiuzhen smiled quickly. Just a little cold the other day, nothing serious. A servant went upstairs and soon brought down Wan Xinhua. His voice was firm, almost theatrical. Xiaosu, you're back. Dad. Wan Su's tone was flat, her words direct. I don't have much time. Just tell me why you called me back. Wan Xinhua put on the mask of a doting father. Xiaosu, must you make our family ties sound so distant? Wan Su sneered. Family ties. When you beat me black and blue with a mop as a child, leaving me unable to face people for a week. Why didn't you talk about family then? When you punished me for Fangfang's mistakes, when you threw me into the snow in the dead of winter and made me kneel all night, where was that family bond? Wan Su's eyes were icy as she took in the couple's every expression. If you're not going to say it, then I'm leaving. Wan Xinhua panicked as she turned to leave. Wait, don't go. Xiaosu, you know my company's been struggling. In construction, we have to front workers' wages. Wan Su's eyes flickered with impatience. Get to the point. He swallowed. We recently took on a project, renovating the Hua family's new hotel. But an accident happened. A worker fell from the scaffolding. Now the Hua family wants to terminate the contract, and they're demanding double the penalty fee. Wan Xinhua pleaded, desperation on his face. Xiaosu, I know you're a doctor and a well-known one. Old Master Hua is gravely ill. If you could treat him, maybe young Master Hua would drop the matter. Wan Su's instincts screamed it wasn't that simple. And the worker? Was it minor or serious? At the mention, Wan Xinhua grew irritable. Don't bring it up. He's in the ICU burning money every day. I've already put in 100,000. Wan Su arched a brow, sarcasm flashing in her eyes. Fine. I get it. Grandma, see me out. Li Meixin cut in quickly. Your father didn't want to trouble you. He held out for a week. If not for your grandmother's illness, he wouldn't have called you at all. But inwardly, Li Meixin sneered. She's just a girl. What's she pretending for? Without some rich man backing her, she'd never be held up this high. The two walked out of the villa together. Wan Su lowered her voice. Grandma, tell me honestly, has Li Meixin given you any trouble? Wang Xiuzhen's eyes flickered, then she forced a smile. She's my daughter-in-law. What kind of trouble could she cause me? Just then, Liang Bai hurried over, slightly out of breath, handing Wan Su a black bag. News just came in. The target's movement has been tracked. A ticket to Eastern Europe has already been booked. Wan Su nodded calmly. She accepted the bag, then pressed it into Wang Xiuzhen's hands. Grandma, here's 20,000 for you. Spend it slowly. When it's gone, I'll give you more. Wang Xiuzhen quickly protested. Xiaosu, I haven't even spent the money you gave me before. Enough, Grandma. I have to go. There's something this afternoon. Wan Su hugged her briefly, then left with Liang Bai. Wan Xinhua rushed out in frustration. Mom, what did I tell you before? How many times have I taught you? Li Meixin glared angrily at the old woman. Do you want to see your son die before you're satisfied? If I weren't supporting you, what could you even do? Wan Xinhua rolled his eyes. Mom, if Wan Su doesn't step in this time, we'll all be starving. As long as you open your mouth, she'll agree. Li Meixin's sharp eyes caught sight of the bulge in Wang Xiuzhen's pocket. She strode over and reached in. What are you hiding in there? Wang Xiuzhen quickly tried to shield it. Nothing. But Li Meixin, younger and stronger, yanked the bag out of her grasp. She tore it open and gasped theatrically. Oh my God. The tens of thousands I couldn't find the other day. It was with you all along. Wang Xiuzhen froze, stunned. No. That's not your money. Xiao Su gave it to me. How could you accuse me? Li Meixin's face twisted with rage. Husband, you know about the money I lost last week. Wan Xinhua's voice thundered with fury. We feed you, we clothe you, and you dare steal from us? Wang Xiuzhen's voice trembled with anger and grievance. I've never even stepped foot in your room. Irritated, Wan Xinhua tugged at Li Meixin. Enough. Mother's just old, confused, that's all. Confused? You think you still have the right to argue? Wan Xinhua roared, shoving Wang Xiuzhen hard. Caught off guard, the elderly woman slammed against the wall. With a sickening thud, the back of her head struck the surface. Dizziness swept over her as she slid slowly down to the floor. Wan Xinhua barked coldly, Stop pretending. I only pushed you once and you can't get up? Today you'll apologize to my wife. You eat our food, live under our roof, and you dare steal? From now on you'll stay in the storage room. Bo Xingji's pilot uniform exuded a stark, restrained allure. His tall, imposing figure radiated authority as he strode forward, captain's hat dangling casually in one hand. A flight attendant leaned toward Su Qiuqiu, whispering, Doesn't Captain Bo seem in a foul mood? But honestly, doesn't that make him even hotter? Su Qiuqiu smiled sweetly, clearly smitten. Before takeoff, Bo Xingji performed the routine passenger manifest check. His eyes froze when he saw the name Wan Su. Handing the list back to the attendant, his gaze narrowed. Keep an eye on the passengers around her. Watch her closely. The attendant blinked in surprise. What's so special about Miss Wan? Still, she nodded and left. When her eyes fell on the woman by the window seat, realization struck. Wasn't this the same friend who'd accompanied Assistant Song last time? Wan Su had dozed off for a while, only to be woken repeatedly by the man next to her, who had helped pick up her things 3 times already. Bo Xingji frowned from afar. That man is definitely doing it on purpose. After several hours of flight, the co-pilot spoke up. Captain Bo, let me take over the controls. Bo Xingji nodded, rose from his seat and walked straight to Wan Su. Sitting down beside her, he leaned close and whispered, Miss Wan, welcome aboard this flight. I'm your captain, Bo Xingji. Wan Su's patience snapped. We're divorced. Wouldn't it be better to treat each other like strangers? Here, your favorite drink. His tone was casual. Her expression, however, remained distant. That was in the past. I don't like it anymore. Captain Bo, please stop disturbing my rest. Bo Xingji's eyes locked on her. Then I'll rest too. Wan Su gritted her teeth. Then go back to your seat. He shrugged. I like this one. I bought a ticket. This is my seat. Then give me a kiss and I'll leave. His fingers caught a strand of her hair, twirling it idly. Wan Su slapped his hand away, only to hear him press further. Am I handsome? She thought he was unbearably childish, knowing exactly who he was comparing himself to. She stared at him for several seconds, then shut her eyes, refusing to engage. Bo Xingji leaned in again, murmuring at her ear, So you admit he's not as handsome as me? Wan Su's eyes flew open. President Bo, control yourself. Bo Xingji's hands clamped onto her waist. His voice dropped low. You used to love it when I bit your ear, just like this. He bent closer, his lips brushing toward hers. But just as he was about to kiss her, she swiftly turned her head aside, dodging him. Suddenly, the plane jolted violently. Bo Xingji leaned close, murmuring, Stay safe. I'll check the situation. The announcement system crackled on. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We've only hit turbulence. The plane will stabilize shortly. But then the chief purser stumbled heavily, crashing to the floor and rolling painfully across the aisle. A sharp cry of pain pierced the cabin. Won-soo immediately rose to her feet, but a nearby flight attendant rushed to block her. "Miss, please don't move around. The plane is shaking violently, you'll get yourself killed. What are you trying to do?" Clutching the seatbacks for balance, Won-soo's voice cut through the chaos. "I'm Dr. Won-soo from Jiangqing First Hospital. You're in a weakened state. Slow your breathing." She steadied the purser, guiding her back to the attendant's seat. "Rest for now." The cabin dissolved into chaos. Passengers were shouting, panicking, their voices a mix of shrieks, curses, and desperate cries. Suddenly, a clear, steady female voice came over the intercom. "Hello everyone, I am Won-soo, the wife of your captain Bo Singji. My husband, Captain Bo, has received the highest level of training. He will take responsibility not only for his wife, but for every passenger on this plane. I believe in him, he will not abandon us. He will see us land safely." In the cockpit, tension hung thick in the air. The co-pilot's forehead was drenched with sweat. "Captain Bo, what do we do now?" Bo Singji's tone was unwavering, his face calm as stone. "Steady yourself. Work with me." Moments later, his deep, commanding voice filled the cabin. "This is your captain, Bo Singji. The aircraft is now stable." Then came another voice over the speakers, rich and magnetic. A passenger, eyes brimming with emotion, looked toward Won-soo. "Mrs. Bo, thank you for your words. Without your comfort, we couldn't have endured. We're so grateful to you and to your husband." The plane touched down safely. Won-soo wheeled her suitcase, moving forward with the crowd. Suddenly, a strong hand seized her arm. "Mrs. Bo, where are you going?" She lifted her gaze, calm and steady. "Bo Singji, I called myself Mrs. Bo on the plane only to calm the passengers. Your chief purser was injured and couldn't speak." Bo Singji's voice carried a trace of irritation. "Won-soo, the title Mrs. Bo. Its usage ends here. Just this once." Won-soo let out a cold laugh. "Captain Bo, that's exactly what I intended. It was just an accident. Don't worry, I won't cling to you." With that, she turned and walked away. Bo Singji stood rooted to the spot, closing his eyes in frustration. I hadn't chased after her to say that. But provoked by her, the words slipped out. I even thought, ridiculously, that she still cared about being Mrs. Bo. Half an hour later, Won-soo arrived at a sprawling, luxurious estate. A crowd had already gathered, and the moment she stepped out of the car, they all bent at the waist, voices uniting in a powerful greeting, "Boss." She strode up to one of the men. "Report." "Boss, the mafia is trying to take over our territory. 2 nights ago, they deliberately set fire to our cargo containers." Won-soo's clear, cold eyes gleamed with mockery. She sneered. "If they dared to set fire to what's mine, they'd better be ready to pay the price." Lin Chi stepped forward, worry etched on his face. "Boss, they're far too arrogant. The situation has already reached Interpol officer halls. After discussing with MIDI, they've decided to settle this through a ring fight." The others chimed in anxiously. "That's right, boss. While our Dark Knight syndicate has many skilled fighters, against this so-called champion we're still lacking. Boss, please summon Liang Bai and Liang He." Won-soo swept her gaze over the panicked crowd. "Send me the champion's dossier. I've just spent an entire night on a plane. I need rest." Without another word, she pushed open the doors and walked inside. Whispers broke out behind her. What was the old master thinking, handing leadership to her? She's just a woman, what can she really do? Pretty faces don't win battles. Lin Chi's frown deepened, the weight of worry bowing his shoulders. He had counted on the Liang brothers returning with her, giving them some reassurance. But Won-soo had come alone, and with that every last thread of his hope unraveled. "So, you've come to watch the showdown between Dark Gate and the Mafia too?" Inklay swirled his glass, his tone laced with mockery. "They say ever since the old master of Dark Gate died, the syndicate has been on the decline, always under the Mafia's heel. 4 years away and you return just in time for the biggest fight yet. Dark Gate has a new leader, doesn't it? It's a woman. And really, what can a woman do these days?" Bo Singji's expression didn't shift, but tension tightened his frame. After a long pause, he replied evenly, "Don't be so sure." Noting his agitation, Inklay's gaze sharpened. You need to understand, the reason you suffer from manic episodes is psychological. Medication only helps so much. What you need is clarity. Think carefully. Is your wife really just a companion to pass the years with? And you, do you truly feel nothing more for her? For the first time, Bo Singji felt powerless. Back then, marriage had been forced on him by his grandfather. But now that the old man was gone, he found himself unable to let go. For 4 years, she had played the role of a gentle, dutiful wife flawlessly. Yet after the divorce, he realized it had been just that. A role, a game of masquerade. Did you know? I never even knew she was a surgeon. Never knew she could fight. His voice dropped almost to a whisper. Inklay spread his hands, his words cutting. So tell me, was it that you never cared enough to truly know her, or was she deliberately keeping you in the dark? In Darkgate's second-floor VIP room, Lin Chi paced in circles, nerves fraying. His men looked equally frantic. Boss Lin, the match is about to start. Let me go in your place, worst case I die in the ring. Lin Chi shook his head bitterly. Forget it. None of you can fight better than me. I'll do it myself. With that, he yanked open the door. At that moment, the loudspeakers boomed with a sweet, polished voice. Now let's welcome the two fighters to the stage. Lin Chi's steps felt heavier with each stride as he made his way toward the ring. On the opposite side, the massive LED screen lit up with the profile of Darkgate's chosen fighter. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Darkgate must have paid a fortune. Look. It's Yin Xiang. What? Impossible. Yin Xiang vanished years ago. Rumor had it he was dead. Could this be a fake? The arena buzzed with disbelief. Yin Xiang, the living legend? How could he possibly fight for Darkgate? Am I dreaming? With a deafening clang, the backstage doors that led straight to the ring swung open. The uproar died instantly. Silence fell heavy and uncanny as every eye fixed on the entrance. A tall, slender figure stepped out slowly, deliberately. A mask concealed the face, leaving only a pair of jet-black eyes visible, sharp as a hawk's, carrying a suffocating chill. Dressed in a fitted combat suit, black boots striking against the floor, her long hair pulled high into a ponytail that revealed the elegant line of her neck. She looked less like a brawler and more like a deadly black swan. Wait, this isn't the boy from back then. This is a woman. The crowd erupted, outrage replacing awe. She's not Yin Xiang. Get off the stage. Don't you dare impersonate our idol. Furious jeers and curses thundered through the arena. Bo Singji's heart nearly stopped the moment he looked up. The fighter on stage was Ruan Su. From below, Lin Chi was frantic, shouting at the top of his lungs. What is she thinking? She'll get herself killed. Get down now. Bo Singji's composure shattered. He tore through the crowd like a madman, sprinting toward the ring. Ruan Su, was this why you came to Italy? At exactly 9 o'clock, the bell rang and the arena erupted. The fight began. Henry lunged forward like a raging beast, aiming straight for Ruan Su. She moved like a swallow in flight, swift, precise. Just as everyone thought she'd be sent flying by his punch, her body twisted midair. With a sudden leap, her knee crashed brutally into the side of Henry's face. Henry staggered back several steps, spitting a mouthful of blood. The sight of his own blood sent him into a frenzy. He roared and charged again. Her slim waist, bound in that black combat suit, looked fragile, but every strike she unleashed exploded with terrifying force. She ducked low, slipping under his arm, and before he could react, she was already on his back. Her arms coiled around his neck in a crushing chokehold. Henry's eyes bulged wide with panic, gasping desperately for air. But before he could break free, her leg whipped out and sent him flying. The massive man, 6'2" and 110 kilograms, hit the ground like a discarded sack of grain. The crowd screamed, scattering in shock as his body crashed off the ring. The arena erupted into thunderous cheers, the crowd nearly losing their minds. Yin Xiang is incredible. He really is Yin Xiang. My God, she actually defeated Henry. If I could see the face beneath that mask just once, I could die without regrets. Bo Singji's eyes locked onto the slender, familiar figure in the ring. His heart lurched like a roller coaster, surging up and crashing down. Ruan Su, who exactly are you? How many secrets are you still hiding from me? As Ruan Su was about to leave the stage, a tall, striking man suddenly stepped forward. wrapping her in a fierce embrace. His voice broke with emotion, shouting, "It really is you. You're alive." Bo Singji's stare darkened, his gaze fixed on Wilson's hands clutching her. Wilson, the mafia's boss. Why is he holding her like that? This woman. Why does she attract every man like moths to a flame? Wilson's face was alight with joy, questions spilling from his lips. "In-seong, how have you been all these years? Where did you go? You're alive. Why didn't you come back to me?" Won-su's reply was cold, her voice cutting. "If your mafia hadn't pushed Dark Gate into a corner, I wouldn't have needed to appear. By your own rules, the territory division now belongs to Dark Gate." Wilson's tone softened instantly, a smile twisting across his face as he tried to appease her. "In-seong, if I'd known you were connected to Dark Gate, I would never have fought them. Tell me, did Henry hurt you?" Won-su's lips curved into a mocking smile. "Him? He's far from capable of that." "Stop." A deep, familiar voice thundered across the hall. Won-su froze, turning sharply. There in the shadows stood a tall, unmistakable figure. Bo Singji. He was here. And worse, he had seen everything. Won-su's lips curved, crimson like blooming roses. "President Bo, what business brings you here?" Hidden beneath her mask, her expression was unreadable. But Bo Singji's temper flared. "Drop the act, I know it's you. Do you even realize what you're doing? Do you understand you could have been killed?" Won-su arched a brow, her tone light, almost teasing. "So, you're worried about me? Let me remind you, President Bo, don't play with fire too often." The words struck him hard, leaving him speechless. Since the divorce, she had silenced him more times than he cared to count. Wilson stepped forward, voice hard. "President Bo, this is mafia territory. In-seong is my honored guest and my friend. I suggest you show her some respect." He too had recognized the man. Bo Singji, the formidable head of Bo Corporation. Bo Singji snapped, his voice sharp with jealousy. "I know her better than you ever will." Wilson's eyes narrowed, his reply cold. "I bled with her. We've survived life and death together. Can you say the same?" Their gazes clashed, sparks of hostility crackling between them like live wires, neither man willing to yield. It wasn't until one of Wilson's men quietly muttered, "Boss, she's already gone," that they realized the woman they were fighting over had long since walked out of the underground arena. The two men stormed out in a fury, hot on Won-su's heels. Just then, the screech of brakes split the night as a car skidded to a stop in front of the entrance. A man stepped out, every stride radiating dominance, his aura sharp and commanding. He moved like a storm cutting through the air. Won-su's heart lurched. "Damn it, he's here already? I need to get out of here, now." Suddenly, a searing hot hand shot from behind, yanking her back. She looked up in shock, straight into a familiar, striking face. "Bo Singji, what are you doing?" She tried to pull away, but his grip only tightened. The struggle drew countless stares from the bystanders. His black eyes burned with possessive intensity. "You look troubled. I'm trying to help you. Why act like I'm the problem?" Won-su shoved at his chest, irritation plain in her voice. "Mind your own business." But then, from the corner of her eye, she caught sight of another familiar figure watching. Without a second thought, she grabbed Bo Singji's collar. "Consider this a debt I owe you." Rising on tiptoe, she crashed her lips against his. Bo Singji's eyes narrowed to slits, heat surging through him. "Not enough," he growled. "It should be like this." With effortless dominance, he wrapped an arm around her slender waist and deepened the kiss with raw force. The man's gaze swept over the crowd, searching, but the one he sought was nowhere to be found. His eyes darkened further when he caught sight of a couple locked in a heated kiss in public. Disgust flickered across his face and he turned sharply, leaving the scene behind. Only once she saw him leave did Won-su shove Bo Singji away. His face was cold and aristocratic, like some noble from the Middle Ages. "Weren't you the one who just said I was meddling?" he asked icily. Won-su's eyes flicked over him, calm and unapologetic. "Sorry, I used you. Someone's after me." Bo Singji's composure cracked again, irritation boiling beneath the surface. "And how exactly is she planning to repay me for this?" "I'm sorry," Won-su said firmly. "Another time. I have things to handle now." Bo Singji's tone was uncompromising. "No. You'll repay me right now." At that moment, Wilson clapped a hand onto Bo Singji's shoulder, his voice casual. Couldn't find the one you're looking for, huh? Forget it. If she wants to see you, she'll show herself. Bo Singji let out a sharp, cold snort. How is she? Is she all right? Wilson's expression shifted, voice low. She's fine. After what happened back then, I truly thought she was dead. The man's eyes dimmed, his voice heavy with longing. I want to know too, but she refuses to tell me. Bo Singji led Won-Soo straight into his presidential suite. Won-Soo sneered. Didn't expect you to be this tacky, President Bo. One night in your hotel. That's how you want me to repay you. Bo Singji's lips curved, his phoenix eyes glinting with amusement. This suite is huge. There's even a guest room. Relax, I won't touch you. Her gaze swept the room. The decor was almost identical to the villa they once lived in as a married couple. He had arranged it deliberately. Does he really want me to get sentimental? So tell me, Won-Soo demanded coldly, what do you really want? The man's expression was inscrutable, his eyes sharp with doubt. I said I wouldn't touch you and I won't. When have I ever lied to you? The real question is, how much have you been hiding from me all these years? What's your connection to Dark Gate? And who exactly is In Seong? Bo pressed. Won-Soo's lips curled in mockery. President Bo, we're divorced now. Drop the curiosity. I owe you no explanations. She turned, walking toward the room. I'm going to rest. Without looking back, she tossed one last remark. As for the wine, enjoy it yourself. Bo Singji's brows knitted slightly, but his handsome face betrayed no emotion. Won-Soo sat on the sofa working, her mind focused. Only 3 days left for this tracking mission. I need to speed things up. Suddenly, a phone rang outside. She glanced over. It was Bo Singji's. She picked it up and knocked on his door. Your phone's been ringing non-stop. The door swung open, revealing him bare-chested, only a white towel slung low around his waist. His six-pack abs were defined like carved marble, droplets of water sliding down from his hair. The sight made her chest tighten. Was that jealousy? My hands are wet. Answer it for me, Bo said casually. Flustered, Won-Soo turned away and pressed the button. A syrupy voice instantly poured out, Singji Gij. Won-Soo's scalp tingled. She shoved the phone back at him without hesitation. Are you listening, Singji Gij? The voice cooed again. Bo's tone dropped into impatience. If it's nothing important, I'm hanging up. He ended the call, but a faint, satisfied smile tugged at his lips. She was jealous, no doubt about it. The night had fallen deep, the cool breeze slipping through sheer curtains that fluttered softly. Won-Soo, ever a light sleeper, stirred faintly. A shadow slipped soundlessly into her room. Though she kept her posture relaxed, lying as if asleep, she instantly recognized the intruder, Bo Singji. The door was locked. How did he even get in? He stood at her bedside, eyes fixed on her serene face. Only a small nightlight glowed in the room, casting a gentle halo of light. Bo Singji leaned closer, watching her for what felt like an eternity. At last, unable to restrain himself, he pressed his lips against the ones he had long craved. So he stared all that time, just to steal a kiss. Won-Soo's body tensed, instinct urging her to push him away. His husky voice rumbled above her. You're awake. She blinked up at him in a daze, parting her lips to speak, but instead a soft, involuntary sound escaped. Damn it, why is my body reacting? Is it just exhaustion? The impulse to resist melted away. Sensing the subtle shift in her, Bo Singji tightened his hold, deepening the kiss and tangling with her all the more fiercely. By the next morning, both were dressed. Bo Singji stood tall in his captain's uniform, radiating a sharp, commanding presence. His handsomeness edged with an almost ascetic restraint. Won-Soo wore fitted white trousers that hugged her long, elegant legs, a suitcase in hand. Her thoughts were in turmoil. Last night was too much. Has my body grown used to him? Behind her, whispers rippled. Isn't that the woman online, President Bo's wife? She immediately pulled out her phone to check. The trending feed blazed with footage of her calming passengers mid-flight, the clip soaring to the top of the hot search. Sitting down, she made a call, her tone steady. The files will be sent shortly. Once you have them, move in and make the arrest. The voice on the other end brightened. Knew you could do it. But, have you seen the hot search? Wan Su's brow furrowed, her reply curt. Nothing worth looking at. She hung up without hesitation. At the same time, a middle-aged man frowned, muttering to himself, "There it is again, her impatience." On Bo Xingji's end, a flight attendant stepped forward cautiously. "Captain Bo, Madam Bo seems to be using last night's incident to stir up publicity." Bo Xingji's head snapped around, his gaze cold as steel. His voice cut like a blade. "Publicity?